Hello, my name's Penny and I have a channel on YouTube called Penelope's Chinwag. It's about my week, it's what I've been making, show you things I have made, chatting about my family. Yeah, it's just an eclectic mix. It's a very windy day. I don't know if you can hear the wind, but I thought it was an ideal opportunity to come on and talk about my knitted toys. I've been knitting since I was 17 and I've only ever really knitted garments for my two girls as they were growing up, babies, and what else? For me and for my husband. I was a garment knitter. And then I started, I make quilts, and now I've gone into this crafting of treasure books so that I can put all my family photos in them. So it's an eclectic mix, but this is talking about amigurumi because Dawn of the Woven Almanac suggested that I tell you about my amigurumi. Well, I panicked at first. I don't do amigurumi. I've worn this because just to show you, I can crochet. It's a nice shawl. Let me stand up and show you. Can you see the back? It's very pretty. And it's made of cashmere. So even though there's a lot of holes, it's very warm. Keeps your back nice. So that's my that's it as far as crochet is concerned. I saw this pattern, I wanted to make it, and I made it. But I've never really fancied crocheting what I thought were amigurumi toys until I saw a book. And as I say, Dawn said, come on, show us. She tagged me. So I looked it up, amigurumi. What does it mean? It actually is a Japanese word meaning to knit or crochet toys. Well, I thought I've been doing that since I've been watching YouTube. I've seen other people do it and I was drawn to it. So I had a go. I didn't think I'd like it, but I do because they take on a whole life of their own. And we've all become very fond of the toys that I've made. So the other thing about amigurumi, Wikipedia said, knitted or crochet stuffed toys. You can stuff it with wool or cotton or, whatever you want. But it did say that typically you use a small crochet hook or a small knitting needle because you want a very firm fabric. And the things I've knitted have done exactly that. So I'll get them, shall I? I'll show you. They're over there. I've got to bring them over because I was sitting over there, but it was a bit dark. It's a very windy day here, overcast. Yeah, 10th of March. Anyway, my first thing that I made was this pattern. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and it's beautifully written. Little cotton rabbits. I think a lot of people have made them. I made the boy mouse in a cabled sweater. The pattern is written so well. When you think I'd never made anything, I needed a pattern that would spell it out to me. And this pattern certainly did. So I can recommend that. Little cotton rabbits, boy mouse in cabled sweater. And here's my little... His name's Duncan. And he does sit at the beginning of my videos on my channel on the sofa with his chums, because they're having a chinwag, having a chat. Here he is. I knitted his ears in a wool from Craft House Magic, and I love it because it's sort of pinky and brown. I forget the name of it now. It was just right. And little yellow cabled sweater. And then an eye-cord tail. But again, you can see knitted on small needles, so you get a very tight fabric. Being the first one I ever made, I had a problem with his his nose. I found out afterwards that people do have problems putting their faces on, but I love him now. Yeah, I said I'd knit him a chum, but he's got this chum sitting. Can you see them over there, sitting on the sofa? And he's okay. So I then saw from Helen of Maisie Makes, who I think has done this, whatever I'm doing, she made the Tootsie Bear. Tootsie Bear, Tootsie Bear, from Cynthia Designs. Now, I'm an experienced knitter. I've been knitting for years. But if you knit this, you need some patience. He's knitted all in one. And he's very, very fine. So you must have a taste for fiddly knitting. But everything's provided in the pattern. And I printed the pattern out, and it's like a book. So you get all the information that you need. And here's my little Tootsie Bear. He has his nose in the air. He's got a little tail. Little bobble hat. But he's cute. He's definitely a one-off. Definitely a one-off. And you knit him all in one. So you cast on, and you knit round, and you knit down, and you cast on, and you knit down, and then you knit his little tail, and then you separate and you knit his legs. That's the fiddly bit, I think. This is the most fiddly, doing his muzzle, because you've only got very few stitches. But again, I love him. He sits in a well, he sits over there now on the settee, but I did sit him in a teacup on the dining room table for a little while. He might go back to that, because I've got a beautiful teacup, and yeah, he's gorgeous. And Cynthia does do a polar bear. Helen's just showed us that she's knitted. He's a lot bigger, and my husband always says he's a polar bear because he had a very stressful job. And the job meant as soon as he walked in the office, the phone went. Somebody was on the phone. I'm in trouble. Can you help me? He helped them, got them out of trouble. He was everybody's best friend. And then he'd put the phone down and the phone will ring again. And he'd come home, and that's what it was like. And after he retired 18 years ago, actually. The phone, anybody will tell you, don't phone Pete, he won't answer. Mobile phone, too fiddly, no thanks. And he just says he's a polar bear. He likes to be on his ice floe out there. If he wants to come back and see everybody, he will. Oh, yes, he'll join in. But otherwise, please let him be on his ice floe. So I said to Helen, I'm just going to have to make the polar bear. So I think, again, you start on the muzzle and you go round. So that's the two I started with. And then, of course, I got into another book. I'll just go and get them. Are you sure you've got time? I'll put them on the chair. Right. Okay. So here's my knitted amigurumi, knitted toys. They can be small or big. I think a lot of people crochet, and they crochet small things. I knit quite big things, but there we are. Apparently it qualifies. And I knit from these two books, Knitted Wild Animal Friends and Knitted Animal Friends by Louise Crowther. And it made me laugh because I bought this book and I thought I'll knit through it, you know, what I want. And then one of my viewers left me a message and said, oh, Penny, she's bringing out a new book, Knitted Wild Animal Friends. Oh, I said, I won't need that. I've got enough to do in this book. I think I resisted for about half an hour. The patterns, well, the design is absolutely exquisite. You learn so much, you know, for making stitches, picking up stitches. Everything is just beautiful. So what have I got here? I've opened the page. Charlie the chimpanzee, here he is. Now my Charlie, I knitted the cardie, but my Charlie didn't suit that. So this is my Charlie. He didn't want shoes. He didn't want bright coloured jackets. He's the other's messengers. He's got a little, and here he is. He's got strong arms. He swings through the trees and he goes and gets their messages, whatever they want. And he's a grand guy. Yeah. And I think he suits that. He's got something, he's got a little packet of buttons that he found somewhere. Let's have a look in your bag, Charlie. Yes, he's got a packet of Lucky Lady buttons, very old. He must have found them somewhere. And a piece of Georgette ribbon. So, well, he obviously likes that sort of thing. Perhaps you're bringing it home for one of your chums, are you? You can see they come to life. But it's true, as you knit these things and start shaping the head and sewing the nose and doing his wide grin, he really is gorgeous. So, another one in the book. Well, this is my latest one. Louis the Owl. It says in the book he wants to be a lifeboat man. So he's got his cable cardie jumper on. Beautiful pattern again. You look startled. That's all right. They just want to see you. Toggle buttons. No tail this time, no. Well, a chimp hasn't got a tail. Only monkeys have tails. Lovely buttons down the back of his trousers. Cable trousers. They should have turn-ups, but I had enough for the turn-up on one, but not enough for the turn-up on the other trouser. So I thought I can't send off for more wool. He's got a hood on. The hood comes up and fits him beautifully. And I've knitted one boot. He didn't want the bright yellow ones, so he's got those hunter colour boots. And he wants to be a lifeboat man, Louise Crowther says. So we live near the sea, so he could well become one. So that's Louis the Owl. You go and sit with Charlie the Chimp. Oh, now I've got Hyacinth the Hippo. The elephant in the book has a ballet dress on, but I saw, what did I say? You know, Fantasia by Walt Disney. And in Fantasia, Hyacinth, the hippos, and all her friends do the ballet dance. So she has her ballet shoes on, her ballet knickers. She's got two underskirts, a skirt, buttoned up. Oh yes, it's a leotard she's got on underneath. Tiny buttons, teeny tiny buttons. Yeah, she's got her leotard. I think the children have been playing. That's it. Underneath, so she's well covered up, and then she's got her little ballet cardigan, crossover front. So there she is. Is this amigurumi? Well, apparently it is. Okay. Well, the first one I knitted was Tilly the hare. Here she is. Her ears do, when she's sitting down on her own, her ears do stand up, but as I'm moving her about, they will flop down. She's got a most beautiful dress on, the detail again. Can you see that stitch carried over and on the bottom? She's got carrots round her cardigan. They're knitted at the top down. Little bag. She brings her veg home for them. Again, I spent ages doing her face. I'm getting better at it. It's something you do get better at. Lovely pretty shoes. Little tiny button on the side. So that's Tilly the hare. Well, Holly the Hedgehog. How about Holly the Hedgehog? She's got prickles all over. She's gorgeous. She's a quiet little thing. She doesn't create too much bother in the group. She's got leaves, because they're always scrabbling around the leaves. Leaves at the bottom of her dress. Got little plain brown shoes on. Hedgehogs can be a bit plain sometimes, but then she puts the dress on and she's gorgeous. That didn't take me so long to do her face. Again, each knitted differently. So here you cast off along there, but of course the hippo's head is completely different, starting at the back and working out. I think she's got sort of a smile as the decreases have come along there. They're very different, but beautiful. Oh, now we've got the sloth. Well, some people say sloth, don't they? But I've always said sloth. He's got the most softest dressing gown on. And what sloths do, they're up in the trees and they attract algae. And they get covered in green algae. And I was pleased I did his little pyjamas in the green. I thought it was just the apt colour. And then the moths, they like to they settle on the algae. And then he goes down once a week, does a poop. The moths lay their eggs in the poop and the whole circle carries on. So yeah, we learnt quite a lot about you, didn't we? Again, the nose, the different shape. Can you see? Here, the different shaping, always the shaping makes it. But he's got his slippers on because, yeah, he's always asleep. But this is very cuddly. I've knitted it all in the wool that you should. Well, I think it's cotton, but it feels like wool. And it's scapies. Tells you in the patterns, and I did do it as. I made a few changes just so they're, you know, of my own. He's got rather a sticky out tail, but there we are. That's George. You're a firm favourite, aren't you? Little scarf, and he does have he does have a patch on his body. One ear up, one ear down. You can fasten that one. I fastened that one, but yeah, he's a little bit of a curious boy. And again, he didn't want shoes. He's got the pads on his feet. Little waggly tail. And there's our George. And this is my last one that I've done. And well, she's the head mistress of the group. Only because I knitted her a grey cardi. She's Maisie the pig. She's got frilly knickers on. So she is a bit of a girl, really. A pretty dress. And she looks, I knitted her a bag. It looks like fried eggs, but they're daisies. A little cable bag. And well, she wears this because she keeps all the group in order and she has to have it on because if she takes it off, well, she's quite a softie really, you can tell. She's changed straight away, hasn't she? Without her grey cardigan, she's just one of the group, enjoying it. But put that grey cardigan and they all have to stand to attention and do as they're told. So that's Maisie the pig. Again, you knit the muzzle and what do you call it? Well, the nose. Just as yeah. Fairy veil, palest of peachy pinks. and then the brighter pink here. And what have you got? Yes, pair of knickers with, again, such a lovely design on. And she's got a little twirly tail. Oh, is that how you're feeling? Yeah. So as I go, this card, it just changes her. Well, I think that's enough indulgence. I'm going to say cheerio. And thank you for watching if you've joined in with my amigurumi toys. And thank you for nominating me, Dawn. Bye-bye.